Hey guys, it's time to wrap up our 8th grade year. I can't even believe we are done with 8th grade. We're done with middle school. If you're new here, my name is Joanna, and this is How We School. Excuse me. I have always homeschooled my youngest. He is now going into 9th grade. So like I said, if you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I know it's been a hot minute since I've been on here, just really trying to not do too much and overwhelm myself. But I have some time now, and I definitely want to wrap up how our 8th grade year went. I will also probably go into what we loved from this year, not today, in another video, what we loved, compare the maths we used this year, the math curricula, and of course share what we're going to do for 9th grade. So all right, let's get into it. Let's get into what we did for 8th grade. Okay, per usual, we used mostly Oak Meadow this year. We did Oak Meadow English for our English, and we really enjoyed it this year. It was also paired up with this 100 ways, sorry guys, 100 ways to improve your composition and creative writing. We really enjoyed this book right here. This was so good. Yeah, Jam did all the assignments. We didn't skip any. So that in itself speaks volumes. We really enjoyed this for writing. And if you've been around, you know writing is something Jam has struggled with and is working on. Do I think this has made him a stronger writer? Yes. Do I think he still needs more work? Yes. So I'm sure this summer we will figure something out to do for more writing skills, and of course figure something out for next year as well. So English was a hit. The literature was mostly a hit. There was a couple books, mostly one book he did not enjoy, which was, oh my gosh, A Wrinkle in Time was his least favorite book this year. And his favorite book was, what's it called? Oh, goodness. Yes, Before the Ever After. That was his absolute favorite book. For a long time, it was The Giver. And after we read The Ever After, that became his top book for the year. And that's the book we ended the year on. So it ended on a high note for him. So the literature was great. The writing was good. The assignments. So we really enjoyed that. Also, we did Fix It Grammar. I want to tell you which level. We did The Frog Prince. And I'm going to be honest, we did not finish this. We are probably only on like lesson 12. So he will be back on this summer. And then when he finishes it, I will get the next level, which will probably end up being his last level. I don't know if it goes further than the next level. But if it does, it's probably still going to be his last level he does. So he did that. He worked on his handwriting. Just regular old print, not even cursive. His handwriting has gotten just not to my liking. So he also did that. So that was English success. No issues there. He had no issues he got through every book. He had no issues getting through every book. We co-read, so I usually have 2 copies of each book. Sometimes we read to ourselves and discuss it after. Sometimes we take turns reading out loud to each other. Sometimes I'm the one that reads the entire time. Sometimes he's the one that reads the entire time. But it kind of gives us that like classroom feel. Not that I'm trying to replicate public school, but I feel that he kind of just, it's nice for me to also hear him reading aloud. And he enjoys me reading aloud, and we enjoy discussing the books. And it's funny when we're reading quietly instead of reading out loud, because we look to each other when we get to certain parts and we're like, oh my gosh, how did you feel about that? So, or things like that. So that was a lot of fun. All right. I don't know, there's a yellow tab in here for some reason. Let me remove that. All right. For science, this year it was physical science, which kind of covers a little bit of everything. It starts with matter and elements. Then we went into scientific habits and properties of matter. Then we went into chemical reactions, forces and interactions, energy. These are all the units. Waves, electricity and magnetism, and then engineering design. So those were the units for physical science. Some units were liked more than others. I don't think it was his favorite science. He probably preferred biology or life science when we did life science, which I want to say was 6th grade. And last year was earth science, and I think he also appreciated that much more. He did enjoy the unit on chemical reactions. That was a good one. And energy, I feel like he kind of enjoyed energy. Forces and motions, not so much. And the other ones so-so, but chemical reactions was his favorite unit. We made it through it. We've done most of the labs. I don't want to say we did every lab because we didn't. We did most of the labs. He did pretty much all of the assignments. He did every single test because Oak Meadow does have a test at the end of each lesson in 8th grade physical science. And and he did that. And I think it was a success. You don't always have to love what you're learning. There's certain things you have to learn, but he did. And again, he's so used to Oak Meadow. It's been our day one since kindergarten. We've done Oak Meadow, and he's just so used to it. And not that it's the same in kindergarten, but because the changes have been gradual, he's just used to it. And I don't think he really wants to go any other way. So that was science. And then for our social studies, this year was civics. And this was another one that he just felt okay about. There was nothing he loved. There was nothing he hated. He kept saying he understood the importance of learning the civics. It just wasn't something he enjoyed. It's not a subject that he loves or likes even. But he did it. And the units for this were good citizenship, building community, foundations of government, political systems, media influence and news literacy, which I think was his favorite unit, and civic involvement. And at the end of each unit, the kids had 2 weeks, the students had 2 weeks to work on a landmark case and to debate whatever the topic was. There was something they had to debate. I like that. He didn't particularly like it, but again, he understood the importance of these things. But yes, overall it was a success. We finished the whole thing. We did the assignments. We did everything. So to me, that's a success. He, like I said, he didn't love it, but he didn't hate it. So we did civics. Now, before I even move on to math, I'm just going to go into everything else we did this year because math might be a longer talk. I'm not sure. Okay, so also on top of civics, we did this year, we didn't start it till towards probably 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. We started doing states and capitals, some state reviews and capitals, and just learning different things about each state, whether it was rivers or landforms, whatever, just different things or interesting facts, just different things on each state, and of course knowing the capital of each state. Every day he'd have this blank map, and he either has to fill it with the state name, or which he would use the abbreviation, the state name or the capital. So the states he's got down, the capitals, he'll keep doing that every day. He also worked on presidents at the same time that he started states and capitals. So in his notebook, I did not pull it out. In his notebook, he had a section labeled presidents, and in that he would put he would make a page, just one page, super short. I'm not trying to do anything crazy with presidents. I just want him to know them, like if he hears about them, whatever, he knows about the presidents. So it's just a page. He puts the name, he puts the years they were in office, 1 to 2, well, I think it was more like 2 to 3 fun facts that he chose to put in there, a picture, perhaps their birth date, their birthplace, something like that. And that was the page. Super simple. I didn't ask him to draw. I didn't ask him to do anything crazy. This was just something extra I wanted to do. So I did not want to make it too much work for him. Okay. He took his cooking class again this year. I think he only didn't do 1 quarter, and I don't remember why. It's either they changed the time, the day, the class got filled before he got into it, something or other. So he did 3 quarters of cooking class. He did film study all year long. I'm sorry, let me rewind. These next 3, cooking class, film study, and newspaper, were all at our local homeschool enrichment center. Okay, so let me go back. Cooking class, he did at the homeschool enrichment center. Film study, he did there, and he did that the whole year. He did half a year of that also in 7th grade. And then this year he did it as well. And he used to aspire to be a director. Since being in the film study class, he no longer desires that. So he is trying to figure out what he would like to do, but he is still interested in the film industry. So it's something he still continued with the full year. He enjoyed it, and we'll probably do it next year. So that's that. He did the full year of the newspaper at our homeschool enrichment center. He was part of the newspaper. They came out with a newspaper newspaper quarterly, and each time he had to put an article or 2 into it. He did a book review. He did 2 recipes, since he is in a cooking class. And I can't remember his last one, but those were some of the ones he did. And then he continued with golf. He did golf this year, which he has been doing since he was about 6 or 7. And he still enjoys it. It's still something he gets out 2 to 3 times a week to practice and work on it. So it's pretty much like his PE class, because he's getting in enough hours and enough days. We took a trip to the PGA Championship this year to watch it. And he just participated in a tournament he was the only kid. It was all adults. And he did well. He actually won the longest drive. He won a new golf bag. So he does tee off where the women tee off, but it's because he's obviously not as strong as these grown men. But still, if a woman had done it from there, or an adult, they would have won the longest drive, and he won the longest drive. Okay, so those were his extras outside of the house. Now we're moving on to math. Oh boy, this is a long story that I'm going to try to keep short. We started our year off with Algebra 1, and this is the new algebra that Oak Meadow recommends for 9th grade. And yes, he was an 8th grader. If you follow Oak Meadow, then this would be something you would use in 9th grade, not 8th grade. When I was reviewing pre-algebra, I was like, wait, this is exactly what he did in 7th grade. Why would I redo it? Well, we did this, and we did this till the end of February. We did not get very far. I want to say, maybe like 150 pages in to the book. And it was a struggle. So when we first had our first struggle, I said, hey, we homeschool. No worries. We don't have to keep moving on. So let's go back to the beginning of the book. This is where I probably should have told myself, if it's not working for you, drop it. What I would have told someone else. So That's not what I did. We went back to the beginning and it was going great. We went further this time. But then he started struggling again. So I was like, okay. So again, this is the new textbook that Oak Meadow has you use for algebra. It used to be Saxon. So this is what they used to give for 8th grade, was the Saxon Algebra 1-2, which is a pre-algebra. Okay, great. I happen to have this here. So I was like, let's work on this. I am going to order the Saxon Algebra. You work on this till it arrives. This will be great practice. We stopped doing the algebra at the end of February. And I said, let's take a break from math, because I did not want him hating math. He's never been a math kid, but he's never not liked it. He's been able to figure it all out and enjoy it. So that being said, I said, work on this. This would be a confidence booster. It would be great. And once the algebra comes in, we're going to switch right away. Well, also before I move on, and then I also got him a membership to Nicole the Math Lady, because I knew I was getting the Saxon Algebra. So I said, okay, I'm going to get this. You can start using it for the pre-algebra. So he started using it and he's just like, this is so easy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but just do it. Then I could just see how it was building his confidence back up again. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to rush into the Algebra 1. I'm not going to do it to him. I'm going to build his confidence back up, have him enjoy the math. And I knew this would not take him that long. So we started this literally the second week of March. And he is, I want to say, only 10 lessons from finishing this. So I'll say it'll take him 3.5 months to have finished this, because we are at 3 months now that he started it. So that's how quickly he's gone through this. Obviously, this would be a year-long course for another student taking pre-algebra. He's finishing this in 3 to 3.5 months. So it has built his confidence. He is enjoying using Nicole the Math Lady. He enjoys the way she explains things way more than the way I explain things, and way more than the textbook. He did not like this book. This book, on the other hand, he is loving. I shouldn't say loving, because math is not his subject. But after having gone through the other one, this feels like love. It feels like love to him. So he is doing Saxon. And the best part of Saxon is it totally reminds me of Oak Meadows math before. I don't know why they stopped using Saxon. I have no idea. But it reminds me quite a lot of it, because they teach you in the lesson the new the new topic or whatever. And then you do some practice questions. Great. This is sounding great. And then after that, you do a problem set. And in that problem set, there will be some new questions. There will be some questions with the new material you learned. But the rest of the questions will be based on what you learned before in the book. So it's got the spiral approach, which makes such a difference for Jam. He needs that. It helps him by the 7th time or 5th or 6th time he's done something, it starts to become super easy. And that's when I knew Saxon was it for him. So we will be hopefully keeping up with Saxon until it doesn't work anymore or whatever. But I know a lot of people say they don't like Saxon. Their kids were bored with it, whatever the case is. He doesn't typically use the actual lesson. He uses Nicole the Math Lady, and he will look over it, the lesson, but not too much. He just likes the way she explains it all, and that works for him. And after, I don't know how many lessons, every few lessons, there's a test, and the tests have been easy. In all honesty, there's how many lessons? 123 lessons, and I think he's on, no, I know he's on 113. So I think that's pretty good for 3 months. And it's built his confidence. He feels more prepared for algebra. And I wish, because I had this book here already, I wish I had started the year off with this. I still don't think the other algebra book would have worked, but I wish I would have started the year off with this and let him spend 3 months doing this like he's done now, and then moved on to algebra, because then he would be so much further in algebra. Do I think the first few lessons he learns in algebra are going to be easy? Yes, 100%. Especially because he already did some of it. He might not remember it as much because that was in the beginning of the year. But I really think that it will, this approach now will work, but I really wish I had done it differently. I have major regret. And I wish I would have followed what I think I would have told someone else. Like, if it's not working, drop it. Drop it. Why would I keep up with it? But, you know, I was like, why am I going to have him do the same stuff over again? I wish I would have. It would have been a great review, or had him do it over the summer. Whichever of the two would have been amazing. Probably over the summer. That would have been great. He would be finishing Algebra 1. But I'm okay with that. It's what happened already. I keep telling myself, you can't change the past. Let's keep moving forward. He's doing great. He does amazing on the problem sets. He does amazing on the tests. So that's what matters most. We're going to keep moving forward. And when he finishes this, probably next week, he will probably take a week off and jump right into Algebra 1. And whenever he finishes that, we're just going to keep moving on. And hopefully he isn't struggling with it. Now, if he does struggle with Algebra 1, with Saxon, I will try one more curriculum. I don't know which one, but I will try one more. If it doesn't work, I will probably get a tutor. My son does help him. I have an older son, and he is very math minded. I will probably have him help out at first. He does help out whenever Jam has an issue in math, but he's more of a, let me show you how I do it, but he's not really explaining it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So anywho, that is the long story short on math. There were lots of math tiers this year that we have never had. So that was quite the struggle for me. Okay, now that I don't have to look at any more of the books, I think that's it. So that is how our year went. Overall, I don't think there was much love in anything this year. I think he did love the English, actually, because, and I think that would have to do a lot with the literature, not with the writing, but with the literature. He is a reader. I mean, hello, there's just books everywhere, but the literature is what got him this past year. He enjoyed it so much. And so I think that was probably his favorite subject. And then his extra ones at the Homeschool Enrichment Center, I would say, were probably next. And then, I don't know, science and civics are probably equal. And math is probably at the bottom due to the issues we had, which we have hopefully resolved. Okay, so that was our 8th grade year. I will be back to share what materials we loved this year, things we didn't love. I don't think there's too much we didn't love except this math. And also what we plan to do for 9th grade. If you guys want to see inside these math textbooks, so I can show you how Saxon looks and how it works, as well as the, what is this one again? The Aylin Martin Gay algebra book. I think this is from Pearson. I'll definitely do a video on that, because I think that would have been helpful for me as well. And again, we're doing this with Nicole the Math Lady. And for what you pay for Nicole the Math Lady, to me, it's totally worth it. He's enjoying it. We sit together through it, so I can make sure he's listening, he's watching. The videos are not super long, at least not for this algebra, this pre-algebra. So that's working, and we're going to continue with that. All right, you guys, let me know how your year went. I hope it was much smoother than mine. And I look forward to talking to you guys in the comments. Thanks for stopping by.